What's up, 4D? My name is Jada Nacole. Today we're going to get into some good stuff. This is an individual episode all about frontal lobe development. So last time we were talking in our group episode, we were getting really deep into the development of our frontal lobes, and we had so many amazing kind of perspectives on what has happened since our frontal lobe has developed. And I just turned 25 back in October, and so many things have already just kicked off for me. But before I get into my story and exactly what I want to dig into today when it comes down to the reaction of change, I would love for y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow us on all of our socials and at 4D Pod. That's FOURDEEPPOD. So hit us up. Let us know what y'all want to hear from us next. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come and stay tuned in every single week for a group episode and individual episodes that we dive into these topics. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So we're talking about reaction to change in regards to our frontal lobe development. And so usually when we're thinking about frontal lobes, we're thinking about decision making, and that still is very true. And with decision making comes down to reactions. You have to make a decision to react a certain way. And a lot of times life lives. And when we say life lives, that just means that life changes from time to time. And we have to learn how to roll with the changes a little bit better. You want to make your reactions productive instead of hindering you. And so that was one of the biggest things that I kind of had to learn once my frontal lobe developed. I was like, okay, what is the reason why I kind of was just letting anything slide? And it was an extreme at first where I was like, I don't care about anything. But then I had to reel it in, and I'm like, okay, I understand how you can be on one extreme saying, okay, I don't care about anything, just anything goes. And then you're uptight about every single last detail. But I was starting to find a middle ground between those two. And I started just saying, okay, whatever reaction is productive in that moment, that is the reaction that I'm going to put first. And then I can go back and, develop the feelings on it later and reflect on those. And so since that time, my reaction to change has definitely gotten a lot better. And I'm not going to just sit there and say that this is all due to the frontal lobe development. I can't. I have to give glory to God always. And I noticed that as my frontal lobe was developing, my spiritual growth was also developing as well. And I think that also has a lot to do with the way that my decision making was happening and the way that I was interpreting the world and really understanding myself and grounding myself. I realized that there was something missing. I realized that there were some voids that I was filling. And when it comes down to change will really highlight those voids. Change will really make you uncomfortable. And then you start running to these outlets, right? And so as my frontal lobe started developing, I started realizing who I was, and I'm realizing my mistakes and realizing where I'm falling short and where my weaknesses are and how I can get better. And so I was looking at my reaction to change. I was looking at who I was running to. And ultimately, I started running toward God. And I don't want to share like a super full testimony on here because it'll be on here forever. But I did want to come on here and say, as my frontal lobe developed, I was able to understand certain things. And once those understandings came about, then I was able to start seeking God in a better way. I was able to start seeking God in a more submitted way, in a way that was giving him my full yes. And so I really am just in love with where I'm at right now, because there literally is so much grace on myself. I'm not as hard on myself as I used to be. I'm way more comfortable in the decisions that I'm making, and my reaction to change has greatly developed so much. And I'm really just trusting in God and having faith. And also I'm choosing to have more productive reactions. And the most productive reaction that you can have is running to God, praying about it, taking it to him, laying your concerns and your worries at his feet, and not trying to take on the world yourself, not trying to control every single last detail. And so as my frontal lobe developed, it was this simultaneous growth in my faith, simultaneous growth within my decision making, within my reactions to change and reactions to just my expectations being thrown off, because that was the biggest thing for me. If I set an expectation and it was changed and it was thrown off, I would fly off the handles. I would be cussing up a storm, and I'll be pointing the finger, and I would just be doing so much of this. And for you listening, if you felt the same way, please comment, like, let me know that I was not the only one. Like, expectations was huge for me. And I had to also realize that expectations have to be communicated as well. I can't just have the expectation and expect everybody to then just fall in line with my expectation. And so with my frontal lobe development, there was just so much maturing that happened in like a very short amount of time. And I think that that is also a sign that your frontal lobe has developed or is in the process of really solidifying, is really just having that maturity happen in like the blink of an eye. It almost feels like, and it feels like it's almost overnight. And you really just start to change the way that you go about your life and that you react to certain things that happen. And there's at this time, you know, around 25 is when a lot of these big life changes are happening. And you see that your reaction to these changes and the reaction to your self-discovery and all these things are changing. And frontal lobe development is a key part in this. And also having that foundation in God as well. So I just wanted to come on here and share like my combination of the two, and not just attribute it all to frontal lobe development, but also still give God all the glory and let y'all know that my productive reaction to change is running to God. And I hope that you're able to run to him as well, because he's there. He's there for you. He wants to hear about your problems. He wants you to take it to him. He wants you to be real. I was real with him earlier today and just being very candid, like, Lord, I trust you. And, you know, I'm gonna praise you if it's a yes, I'm gonna praise you if it's a no. But it hurts. It doesn't feel good. And I'm just gonna leave it at that, you know, and I know that you can identify with my emotions because you walked this earth and you were blameless, you were righteous. And so just really having those like candid conversations with the Lord and being as blunt and as frank as possible with him. Like, he doesn't want all the fluff. He just wants you. He knows you. He created you. And so being able to do that has really just, it's changed my life. And so I'm just very, very grateful for it all. And I am on the other side of frontal lobe development, and I would like to say that it's cool here. And so leave me a comment down below and let me know what experience it was like for you, and let me know what some productive reactions to change are for you. I would definitely hope that running to God is the number one, but what are some secondary ones? What are some you know what? I'm not even gonna try that word. What's your second, third, and fourth reaction? You know, so I really hope that this resonated with you, because this is something that I sat down and I was like realizing in my, you know, self-reflection time, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. I like this, Jada. I like this new you. And so if you have that same experience or even something similar, please comment down below, and then like this video, comment and subscribe so that you can see more of our reactions. I mean, not reactions, but more of our in-depth takes on what we're talking about as a group. I think, I want to say Jada's next. So look out for Jada's episode next Friday, and continue to let us know any topics that you want to hear us talk about. This is a community. We're not just talking to a wall. We're not just talking to each other, but we're talking to y'all. And we really want y'all to join in on the conversation. So we love y'all, 4D. Y'all are always in our hearts. Thank you for supporting us. And we will see you next Friday. Mwah. Bye.